Hey everyone, it's me Alex here with another devlog update for you based on my mobile roguelike project. Over the last couple of months I've managed to implement some pretty major stuff, so let's just go ahead and jump straight into it. The first minor change is that when adjusting the current player equipment on the inventory screen, it will now automatically update the stat values to display the most up-to-date information available. This includes from making attribute adjustments which affect the core stats as you can see here. After setting this up, I then started getting the game scene to adjust the player's stats based on their current equipment, so that when entering the chosen level, their current health from their equipment will be displayed as well as their damage output will be a product of their weaponry customization. You also notice the addition of a new UI bar representing the current armor protection. Now whenever a player is damaged, they will first deplete the armor bar before taking away from their actual health value. The main addition I've been working on is the system for saving and resuming a game mid-progress. This is extremely useful when developing a mobile game, as there are many times where a player is likely to close the app on their device, and rather than starting the level over, it would be nice if we could bring them back to the same point at which they closed the game. As the player is going to resume their current progress, I needed to make sure the level order would be the same when resuming. This required changing the current system, where each time the player reaches the end of a room, it picks a random new room for them to move to. Instead, the entire order of the level is now pre-calculated each time the level is launched, according to an algorithm. This ensures that each time the level is started, the order will be random, but the player will also be able to resume their progress with the saved order they started their run on. In the Stage Manager script, after launching into the game scene, we first check if the game has been resumed or not. If it is the first time we've launched the level, we then go through a process of setting up each room in order. We get the amount of 10 rooms for the current level and put 4 random normal sized rooms in a row before selecting a random angel room. We then add another 4 normal rooms before finally adding a randomly selected boss room, so that each of the 10 levels will contain 1 angel room halfway through and 1 boss room at the end. Once we've filled the list with the correct number of rooms needed for this level, we then add the starting room object to the front of the list. Once the order has all been set up, every time we complete a room, we know the next room we need to spawn the player in will be their current stage number used as an index value in the list of rooms. The second part of the system is actually saving the player's mid-game progress as they continue through the level. This allows us to easily place them back where they left off should the application be closed for any reason. There are a couple of different times that we perform a save for different types of data. After setting up the initial room order, we save this data and the player's current stats away to a file as part of an initial progress save. There are then a couple of places where minor saving takes place. The reason for this is that it is much less expensive for the system to only save the small amounts of data that have changed rather than everything collectively. The 2 minor saves happen when the player's current stats are changed, for example when from taking damage or picking an ability which increases their damage output. In these situations, we save just the data that has been changed, so that if the game is closed or a crash takes place, the player will still have their most up-to-date restored data when they resume the game. The main consistent save that takes place is at the end of each room. When a room has been marked as complete, we do a big save of the player's current stats, their items they may have picked up in the game, as well as the most recent room data, including the value of their last completed room. This means that we'll have the correct value to use when placing the player back into the scene should they close and resume the game. The reason we can perform a more intensive save at the end of a room is because at this point all of the active enemies have been destroyed, meaning in the unlikely case of the player experiencing some lag in their gameplay, it won't negatively impact their progress. And that about wraps up everything I wanted to share with you guys for this update video. This has been one of the biggest updates yet, as it took a large amount of time to plan and set up this save and resume system, but now that it's in place I'll be able to add to it as more content is put into the game. Thank you so much for watching this video, and in the next update I'll be going through my skill tree system for the player skills which I've recently began working on. There'll be more on that in the next video though. Thank you very much for watching.